The ninth insight, the emerging culture. The emerging culture is a way of consciously relating in which everyone attempts to bring out the best in others, rather than to have power over them, and is a posture the entire human race will eventually adopt. This will enable everyone's energy level and pace of evolution to increase. The ninth insight explains how human culture will change in the next millennium as a result of conscious evolution. It describes a significantly different way of life. Humans will voluntarily decrease our population so that we all may live in the most powerful and beautiful places on the earth. More beautiful areas will exist in the future because we will intentionally let the forests go uncut so that they can mature and build energy. Abundance. By the middle of the next millennium, humans will typically live among 500-year-old trees and carefully tended gardens, yet within easy travel distance of an urban area of incredible technological wizardry. By then, the means of survival foodstuffs and clothing and transportation will all be totally automated and at everyone's disposal. Our needs will be completely met without the exchange of any currency, yet also without any overindulgence or laziness. People of the future. Guided by their intuitions, everyone will know precisely what to do and when to do it, and this will fit harmoniously with the actions of others. No one will consume excessively because we will have let go of the need to possess and to control for security. In the next millennium, life will have become about something else. Our sense of purpose will be satisfied by the thrill of our own evolution, by the elation of receiving intuitions, and then watching closely as our destinies unfold. How people will meet in the future. The ninth insight depicts a human world where everyone has slowed down and become more alert, ever vigilant for the next meaningful encounter that comes along. We will know that it could occur anywhere, on a path that winds through a forest, for instance, or on a bridge that traverses some canyon. Can you visualize human encounters that have this much meaning and significance? Think how it would be for two people meeting for the first time. Each will first observe the other's energy field and expose any manipulations. Once clear, they will consciously share life stories until, elatedly, messages are discovered. Afterward, each will go forward again on their individual journey, but they will be significantly altered. They will vibrate at new levels and will therefore touch others in a way not possible before their meeting. The movement. The manuscript says our natural pursuit of the truth will lead us there. But to grasp how this movement will occur, perhaps it is necessary to visualize the next millennium in the same manner you studied the current one, as though you were living through it in one lifetime. Think about what has occurred already in this millennium. During the Middle Ages, we lived in a simple world of good and evil, defined by the churchmen. But during the Renaissance, we broke free. We knew there had to be more to man's situation in the universe than the churchmen knew. And we wanted the full story. We then sent science out to discover our true situation, but when this effort didn't provide the answers we needed right away, we decided to settle in and turned to our modern work ethic into a preoccupation that secularized reality and squeezed the mystery out of the world. But now, we can see the truth of that preoccupation. We can see that the real reason we spent 5 centuries creating material supports for human life was to set the stage for something else, a way of life that returns the mystery to existence. That is what the information now returning from the scientific method indicates. Mankind is on this planet to consciously evolve, And as we learn to evolve and pursue our particular path, truth by truth, the ninth insight says the overall culture will transform in a very predictable way. Careers of the future. Once we reach the critical mass and the insights begin to come in on a global scale, the human race will first experience a period of intense introspection. We will grasp how beautiful and spiritual the natural world really is. We'll see trees and rivers and mountains as temples of great power to be held in reverence and awe. We will demand an end to any economic activity that threatens this treasure. And those closest to this situation will find alternative solutions to this pollution problem because someone will intuit these alternatives as they seek their own evolution. This will be part of the first green shift that will occur, which will be a dramatic movement of individuals from one occupation to another, because when people begin to receive clear intuitions of who they really are and what they're supposed to be doing, they very often discover they're in the wrong job and they have to jump to another type of work in order to continue to grow. The manuscript says that during this period, people will sometimes change careers several times during their lifetime. The pursuit of more free time. The next cultural shift will be an automation of the production of goods. To the people who are doing the automating, the technicians, this will feel like a need to make the economy run more efficiently. But as their intuitions become clearer, they will see that what automation is actually doing is freeing up everyone's time so that we can pursue other endeavors. The rest of us, meanwhile, will be following our own intuitions within our chosen occupations and wishing we had even more of this free time. We will realize that the truth we have to tell and the things we have to do are too unique to fit within a usual job setting. So we will find ways to cut our employment hours to pursue our own truth. 2 or 3 people will hold what used to be one full-time job. This trend will make it easier for those displaced by the automation to find at least part-time jobs. What about money? Will people voluntarily reduce their incomes? We won't have to. The manuscript says our incomes will remain stable because of the people who are giving us money for the insights we provide. The manuscript says that as we discover more about the energy dynamics of the universe, we will see what really happens when we give someone something. Right now, the only spiritual idea about giving is the narrow concept of religious tithing. As you know, the scriptural notion of tithing is interpreted most commonly as an injunction to give 10% of one's income to a church. The idea behind this is that whatever we give will be returned many times. But the ninth insight explains that giving is really a universal principle of support, not just for churches, but for everyone. When we give, we receive in return because of the way energy reacts in the universe. Remember, when we project energy into someone, this creates a void in ourselves, which, if we are connected, fills up again. Money works exactly the same way. The ninth insight says that once we begin to give constantly, we will always have more coming in than we could possibly give away. Giving plus automation. And our gifts should go to the persons who have given us spiritual truth. When people come into our lives at just the right time to give us the answers we need, we should give them money. This is how we will begin to supplement our incomes and ease out of the occupations which limit us. As more people engage in the spiritual economy, we will begin a real shift into the culture of the next millennium. We will have moved through the stage of evolving into our right occupation and will be entering the stage of getting paid for evolving freely and offering our unique truth to others. If everyone were participating, then we would be giving and receiving constantly, and this interaction with others, this exchange of information would become everyone's new work, our new economic orientation. We'd be paid by the people that we touched. This situation would then allow the material supports of life to become fully automated because we would be too busy to own these systems or to operate them. We would want material production automated and run like a utility. We'd own stock in it perhaps, but the situation would free us up to expand what is already the information age. Eliminating the fear of scarcity. But the important thing for us right now is that we can now understand where we are going. We could not save the environment and democratize the planet and feed the poor before because for so long we could not release our fear of scarcity and our need to control so that we could give to others. We couldn't release it because we had no view of life that served as an alternative. Now we do. But wouldn't we need a cheap source of energy? Fusion, superconductivity, artificial intelligence. The technology to automate is probably not that far away. In fact, it's probably here right now that we have the knowledge of why to do it. The most important thing is that we see the truth of this way of life. We're here on this planet not to build personal empires of control, but to evolve. Paying others for their insights will begin the transformation, and then as more and more parts of the economy are automated, currency will disappear altogether. We won't need it. If we are correctly following out intuitive guidance, then we will take only what we need. And we'll understand that the natural areas of the earth have to be nurtured and protected for the sources of incredible power that they are. Spiritual evolution. The ninth insight says that as the human race evolves spiritually, we will voluntarily decrease the population to a point sustainable by the earth. We will be committed to living within the natural energy systems of the planet. Farming will be automated except for the plants one wants to energize personally and then consume. The trees necessary for construction will be grown in special designated areas. This will free the remainder of the earth's trees to grow and age and finally mature into powerful forests. Eventually, these forests will be the rule rather than the exception, and all human beings will live in close proximity to this kind of power. Think what an energy-filled world we would live in. It ought to raise everyone's energy level. What would this increase in energy mean? It would accelerate the pace of our evolution. The more readily we have energy flowing into us, the more mysteriously the universe responds by bringing people into our lives to answer our questions. And every time we follow an intuition and some mysterious encounter leads us forward, our personal vibration increases. Onward and upward, if history continues, then we'll continue to achieve higher and higher levels of energy and vibration. Having just introduced the idea that the transformation of the planet would create a totally spiritual culture and would raise human beings to higher and higher vibrations, it suggested that this rise would lead to the occurrence of something else, but it didn't say what. The manuscript describes the inspiration that comes when we are truly loving others and evolving our lives forward. The manuscript describes the progress of succeeding generations as an evolution of understanding, an evolution towards a higher spirituality and vibration. Each generation incorporates more energy and accumulates more truth and then passes that status on to the people of the next generation who extend it further. Religion. The manuscript would clarify many religions and would help them fulfill their promise. All religion, it says, is about humankind finding relationship to one higher source, and all religions speak of a perception of God within, a perception that fills us, makes us more than we were. Religions became corrupted, as leaders were assigned to explain God's will to the people instead of showing them how to find this direction within themselves. The manuscript says that sometime in history, one individual would grasp the exact way of connecting with God's source of energy and direction and would thus become a lasting example that this connection is possible. Isn't that what Jesus really did? Didn't he increase his energy and vibration until he was light enough? This individual would blaze a path that the whole human race was destined to follow, but it didn't say where this path led. Conscious evolution. The ninth reveals our ultimate destiny. It makes it all crystal clear. It reiterates that as humans, we are the culmination of the whole of evolution. It talks about matter beginning in a weak form and increasing in complexity, element by element, then species by species, always evolving into a higher state of vibration. When primitive humans came along, we continued this evolution unconsciously by conquering others and gaining energy and moving forward a little bit and then being conquered ourselves by someone else and losing our energy. This physical conflict continued until we invented democracy, a system that didn't end the conflict but shifted it from a physical to a mental level. Now we're bringing this whole process into consciousness. We can see that all of human history has prepared us to achieve conscious evolution. Now we can increase our energy and experience the coincidences consciously. This carries evolution onward at a faster pace, lifting our vibrations even higher. Our destiny is to continue to increase our energy level, and as our energy level increases, the level of vibration in the atoms of our bodies increases. The ninth insight says that as we humans continue to increase our vibration, an amazing thing will begin to happen. Whole groups of people, once they reach a certain level, will suddenly become invisible to those who are still vibrating at a lower level. It will appear to the people on this lower level that the others just disappeared, but the group themselves will feel as though they are still right here, only they will feel lighter. Vibrational frequency. When humans begin to raise their vibrations to a level where others cannot see them, it will signal that we are crossing the barrier between this life and the other world from which we came and to which we go after death. This conscious crossing over is the path shown by the Christ. He opened up to the energy until he was so light he could walk on water. He transcended death right here on earth and was the first to cross over, to expand the physical world into the spiritual. His life demonstrated how to do this, and if we connect with the same source, we can head the same way, step by step. At some point, everyone will vibrate highly enough so that we can walk into heaven in our same form. The insight says that most individuals will reach this level of vibration during the third millennium, and in groups consisting of the people with whom they are most connected. But some cultures in history have already achieved the vibration. According to the ninth insight, the Mayans crossed over together. Bridging the dimensions. Fear lowers one's vibration tremendously. The ninth insight says that while some individuals may cross over sporadically, a general rapture will not occur until we have abolished fear, until we can maintain a sufficient vibration in all situations. We can't do it yet, but the role of the ninth insight is to help create that confidence. The ninth insight is the insight of knowing where we are headed. All of the other insights create a picture of the world as one of incredible beauty and energy, and of ourselves as increasing our connection with and thus seeing the beauty. The more beauty we can see, the more we can evolve. The more we evolve, the higher we vibrate. The ninth insight shows us that ultimately our increased perception and vibration will open us up to a heaven that is already before us. We just can't see it yet. Whenever we doubt our own path or lose sight of the process, we must remember what we are evolving toward, what the process of living is all about. Reaching heaven on earth is why we are here. And now we know how it can be done, how it will be done. The ninth mentions that a 10th insight exists. The copies have all been destroyed. Your role. Each person, once they hear the message and realize that the insights are real, must pass on the message to everyone who is ready for it. Connecting with energy is something humans have to be open to and talking about and expecting. Otherwise, the whole human race can go back to pretending that life is about having power over others and exploiting the planet. If we go back to doing this, then we won't survive. Each of us must do what we can to get this message out. A recap of all the insights. As we approach the end, here is a recap of the 9 insights. First insight, be alert to the mysterious way your life evolved. First insight, the whole culture was sensing this mystery again as well, and we were in the process of constructing a new worldview as pointed out by the second. The third and fourth had shown that the universe was in reality a vast system of energy, and that human conflict was a shortage of and a manipulation for this energy. The fifth insight revealed that we could end this conflict by receiving an impouring of this energy from a higher source. The sixth showed us that we could clear out our old repeated dramas and find our true selves. The seventh had set in motion the evolution of these true selves through question, intuition of what to do, and answer. Staying in this magic flow was truly the secret of happiness. And the eighth, knowing how to relate in new ways to others, bringing out in them the very best, was the key to keeping the mystery operating and the answers coming. All of the insights had integrated into a consciousness that felt like a heightened sense of alertness and expectation. The ninth revealed where our evolution was taking us. This is the end of my review of the Celestine prophecy. If you enjoyed this series, consider subscribing to this channel for future videos. Thank you for watching, and look for the playlist for the rest of the insights if you had not seen those videos.